Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be comparing the Honda CR-V Hybrid to the Kia Sportage Hybrid. Before we get in this video though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Kia here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Sportage. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. The Honda CR-V has a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that's paired to a hybrid system and a CVT. Fuel economy is 40 around town and then 34 on the highway, with power outputs being 204 horsepower and then 247 pound-feet of torque. Now the Sportage has a turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder that's paired to a 6-speed automatic and a hybrid system. Fuel economy is 38 around town and then 38 on the highway, with power outputs being 227 horsepower and then 258 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go to the front ends, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So when it comes to styling with the Honda, it's a little bit more simplistic with the design. It kind of reminds me of what Mazda has done with their design language on a lot of their vehicles. You guys can see the headlights definitely lend to that, and I do like how the grill is all blacked out. This does look funny at the bottom though. It's kind of like exhaust tips but on the front end. Anyways, with the Sportage, you guys can see they've gone for a little bit more craziness with the design, especially with the headlights. It's pretty out there, but these are both finished in blue paint that's pretty similar, so they're kind of twinners. Now with the CR-V, our tire wheel setup is 235, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear, whereas with the Sportage, it is 235, 60, 18 in the front and over in the rear. So the Sportage has a little bit more sidewall because it has slightly smaller wheels. When it comes to design, let me know which one you like more. This is interesting. Body painted mirror versus blacked out mirror, and then they both have like silver trim around the windows. But here's your full side view with the CR-V. Here's your full side view with the Sportage. Now when it comes to key fobs, I think both of them actually have pretty cool key fobs. Functionality is identical with them pretty much. They both have remote starts. This particular Sportage though doesn't have a hatch opening on the key fob. Now popping to the rear with the Sportage, you guys can see the cargo capacity is actually really solid. We got a 12 volt here in the back, and then we can of course lift this up. Got the spare tire and everything underneath. Now with the CR-V, the loading floor is actually a little bit lower than the Sportage, so it looks like it has a little bit more vertical cargo room, but you can't pick up the loading floor with the CR-V. And then we do have a 12 volt here in the rear. Now when it comes to rear style, obviously this is going to come up to personal preference, but I do think they both have cool elements. So with the Sportage, the taillights, I think those are really sweet. I actually like the Honda CR-V taillights as well, and then that Sport Touring badge. I like how you've got the exhaust tips pretty visible, but with the Kia, they pretty much hide it. But let me know if you like Sportage more or CR-V more. Now in the back of the Sportage, you guys can see the legroom here. We've got a little storage pocket. We've got some vents, some USB action, and then there's like blue here on the door panel, which is interesting. Then the seats are like this like cream color, which is pretty cool. And then headroom back here is really good. Now when it comes to room in the CR-V, it's pretty much the same as the Sportage. Vents, USBs, a little bit more not flashy I guess with the door panel because it's just all blacked out pretty much. You do have some orange stitching, and then that actually continues onto the seats as well, so a little bit more subtle. And then headroom back here's good. Pretty cool door panel here at the front of the Sportage. I like the blue with the cream color, and then the door handle itself. We do have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And here is the steering wheel. You can see blue, yet again, this kind of a thing. We've got adaptive cruise control with steering assist. And we got this full digital gauge cluster here, which is pretty fancy. And then you can also change the drive modes here with this, like Sport will make it kind of red and aggressive. And then with the infotainment system, first off, got a backup camera, pretty standard. And then you can see response time with this is really solid. I do like how we've got the hybrid page, so it lets us know exactly what's happening. And then we've got the multi-control climate control setup here, which is pretty interesting. So now it controls climate controls, now it controls like radio stuff. And then we do have like a wireless phone charging pad, some USBs, got heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then you guys can see the cup holders here, which are pretty nifty. And then we got our little dial shifter, center locker with a drive mode select, parking sensors, hill descent control, auto hold. You got your camera set up. And then here's the center console. Blue on the top, of course. I do like this with the vent. I think that's pretty cool. And then you got nice padding on the dash, which is cool. No center for anything there at the top. And then you guys can probably see window sticker here. $32,945 is the MSRP on this 2023. Now in the CR-V with the door panel, a little bit more subtle, just like the rear. Do have memory seats, got blind spot monitoring, the mirrors. And then again with the steering wheel, not blue, it's black, with the orange stitching. Got adaptive cruise control with your steering assist paddle shifters here on the back for the CVT. Gauge cluster is a little bit different, right, with the setup. And then we do have some different drive modes we can go between with this, just like the Sportage. And then if we pop into reverse, we just got a backup camera, like with the Sportage. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system itself, response time's good. I will say, I think the Kia infotainment system's a little bit nicer with the integration, but I do like Honda's Mega Vent. I think that's always cool. Dual zone climate, heated seats, heated steering wheel as well. So that's all the same with the cars. Wireless phone charging pad with some USBs. Drive mode select, hill descent control, parking brake. And you guys can see with the brake hold. Shifter for the CVT, and then here's the center console. Good storage. And then this one actually has a sunroof up top. And well, the Honda is actually more expensive, so $39,845. Well, we're gonna start off in the CR-V hybrid because this is obviously, you know, kind of been like a mainstay in the hybrid crossover segment for a little bit. And then we'll jump into the Sportage hybrid, which is, I guess, the newcomer. And we'll see if the newcomer can defeat the master, so to speak. And I gotta throw this window sticker back in the glove box. So, bloop. First off, the CR-V definitely, you can tell it prioritizes keeping the engine off as long as it can. But I will say, it's pretty seamless with the integration. It's really, yeah, it's really smooth. I do like this experience. So I actually just got out of an EV. I've been driving the Aria for the week, and popping into this is my tester for the week. I've actually been pretty impressed with like how similar this feels to an EV. That modern hybrid technology is just so rock solid. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's just with the CVT. So Honda's done a really good job with the tuning on this, that's for sure. See how the suspension comfort is over the train tracks. Very, very good. Yeah, the thing that I'm most impressed with is just how seamless this whole system is. It's very smooth with the overall integration. Okay, well, we're gonna be able to get our acceleration here with the CR-V hybrid to see if this thing's quick. Interesting. So this, I mean, it's pretty quick. You guys are the power figures. This car is way better when you're just like getting up and moving at a, you know, normal pace. Under like full throttle, full acceleration, it's not as refined. So I don't think Honda expects people to go full throttle as much as partial throttle. Partial throttle, it seems like that's where the sweet spot is with this powertrain. But something's up. This is a solid hybrid powertrain. I love the performance of it. Fuel economy numbers are, you know, good. It's interesting that the there's such a big difference. You know, the Kia's, you know, they're the same with the Highway and City, but this has a little bit of a difference, which I find interesting. But with that being said, let's go pop over into the Sportage and see if it can compete with the Honda. Well, setting off in the Sportage, aka, you know, kind of the new kid on the block, right? So this is a completely different setup from the Honda. The Honda has a naturally aspirated four-cylinder. This is a turbocharged four-cylinder. The Honda utilizes a CVT. This utilizes a 6-speed automatic. And so the approach to a hybrid could not be more different. And this results in a completely different driving experience right off the bat. So with the Honda, it was very quick with the transitions, again, partial throttle. This, it doesn't seem like it's as quick as those transitions when you're partial throttle, but this feels like it's got a bigger punch. It seems like you got a punch right off the bat from the electric side of things, and then you get into the turbos, and then you get like another punch. And it seems like this does rely a little bit more on the engine. It doesn't matter if the car relies more on the engine or more on the electric side of things, right? The only thing that matters is ultimately, you know, the fuel economy that you're getting with the vehicle. So that is the most important thing. If you guys are wondering, there's a train that just started going through the thing, and I will not deal with that because that train will be there for like 20 minutes, I assure you. That's just how the train system works in the US here. But let's go into sport mode here. Get our acceleration with the Sportage. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily any faster than the Honda. It just feels different, the acceleration, but I'd say they're both pretty close when it comes to overall acceleration. So let's sum things up with this comparison. Hybrid Honda versus hybrid Kia. Two completely different approaches to basically answer, one problem, and that problem is fuel economy. So when you look at the fuel economy numbers, right, this is, I guess, a little bit more even because it's 38, whereas the Honda, it's better around town, but then not as good on the highway, right? So you gotta, I guess, depending on what driving you do more will determine which one's better, because like if you're doing more highway driving, this one, right, is supposed to be better. And I think how this performs at full throttle also indicates that, because when you're full throttle with this, it's just a lot more, it feels better. The Honda feels better at partial throttle. So I think that's a good way to sum things up. I think the Honda, if you're doing mostly around town driving, I think that one is really solid there. And then I think if you're doing a little bit more highway driving, I think that's where this Sportage comes into play, where this one would, do just a little bit better. But let me know which one you'd pick.